you already know what are these three sections. The first section is work. This is the first section. In the first section, we will describe what work is. Different kinds of work. That means work can be defined as positive, negative, or zero. We define all these three terms: positive work, negative work, and zero work. Then the unit of work and how we will define the unit of work. That's about the first section, work. And then we move to our second section, that is energy. This is our second section, energy. In the second section, we will learn types of energy, different forms of energy. We are having different forms of energy like kinetic energy, potential energy, rotational energy, vibrational energy, then solar energy, etc., etc., etc. Different forms, lots of forms of energy. But here we are only discussing about kinetic energy and potential energy. That's most prominent in the objects which is moving or at rest. These energies are most prominent. That's why we are explaining kinetic energy and potential energy. The total kinetic and potential energy of a body is togetherly called as mechanical energy. So here we are explaining only kinetic and potential energy. Then moving to the third section, that is our last section, it is called power. Here in this section, we define what power is. Then commercial unit of power and larger unit of power. That's all about this chapter. We are having three sections. Now we can start section by section. First section, I am going to explain work. What do you mean by work? When a force is applied to an object and the object is displaced in the direction of force, then we can say that work is done. That means work is done when the application of force can displace a body in the direction of force. If there is no displacement for the object, then work cannot be done. That means when we are applying a force and the object is not displacing, then we cannot say that work is done. If we can say, or if we are explaining, or if we are saying that work is done or work has to be done, then we must displace the body in the direction of applied force. Then we can simply define work as work is a quantity. We are having two quantities, scalar quantity and vector quantity. After explaining the definition of work, I will explain whether work is scalar or a vector. After explaining the definition, you will say what work, a scalar or a vector. You will understand whether work is scalar or vector. Now, work can be defined as, or work is to be done when the application of a force can displace an object in the direction of force. Now going to the definition of work. Work is said to be done. Work is said to be done if the application of force, if the application of force can displace a body in the direction of force. In the direction of force. Work is said to be done if the application of force can displace a body in the direction of force. Now, in work, the basic quantities in it is force and displacement. Look, the terms related to work are force and displacement. If the application of force, here the term force is included, displaces a body, that means displacement is done. Therefore, the terms related to work are force and displacement. Then, in another words, we can say that work is defined as the scalar product of force and displacement. That means when force multiplied by displacement gives us the value of or the magnitude of work, and is always a scalar product. Scalar product simply means we are getting only a scalar quantity. That means force and displacement multiplied together, then we get only the scalar value. That's called the scalar product. Then in another words, work can be defined as the scalar product of force and displacement. I am writing the next definition as work is defined as the scalar product of force and displacement. Now we can write work is equal to, it is the scalar product of force and displacement. That means the product will always gives us a scalar value, a scalar quantity. That means the quantity having only magnitude. Therefore, work having only magnitude, no direction. That is, work is a scalar quantity. Work is a scalar quantity. Therefore, it cannot be zero or negative. In classification, according to the name, we are classifying work as positive work, negative work, and zero work. These are the classification, not based on this scalar or vector quantity criterion. Work is classified as positive, negative, and zero work according to the conditions. And remember, work is always a scalar quantity. Work is always a scalar quantity. And work is equal to force into displacement. Work is equal to force into displacement. That is, work is denoted by the letter W is equal to force is denoted by the letter F into displacement is denoted by the letter F. That means F into S gives work done. Force into displacement. Work W is equal to force into displacement. Now we need a unit of work. From the equation itself, we can find the unit. That is, unit of force is Newton. And the unit of displacement is meter. That is, we can say force into displacement. Force is Newton and displacement is meter. But in SI unit, we are using the unit joule for work. We are using the unit joule for work represented by the letter J. From the equation, we are getting the unit as Newton for force and meter for displacement. Then Newton meter is the unit of work. But in System A International unit, that means in standard unit, in SI unit, we are following the unit of work as joule represented by the letter J. That's all about the basic definition of work. Just remember this equation. Work is equal to force into displacement and the unit of work is joule. This is the important thing in the first basic definition of work. Now we are moving to the classification of work as positive work, negative work, and zero work. For simplicity, I am just drawing a table or just drawing a flowchart like explain positive, negative, and zero work. Just like this, work can be classified as first one is positive work and second one is negative work. And third one is zero work. Third one is zero work. These are the classification or the criteria we used to classify the work by